I found out how my parents died and regret it. My parents passed away when I was young, and I wish I never asked how they died. I was always told growing up that my parents died peacefully when I was young, but it was always very vague and the subject was quickly changed. I started wondering more about my parents the older I got, but decided to ask my aunt, essentially my second mother, on my 18th birthday. I tried to ask a few times before, but was shot down, and it just doesn't seem right. My aunt's face immediately changed when I brought it up. I push it back this time, demanding she tell me what happened since I was 18 and am an adult enough to hear it. She hesitated but eventually told me the truth. One fall. When I was about 4 months old, there had been more tornadoes that year than usual. It had all been in the outer parts of town and away from most people's homes until one night in October. A level 5 tornado swept through the center of the town at 2 a.m. that night that caused so much damage that it was covered on multiple news stations across the area. My aunt explained how she tried very hard to keep me from knowing about the storm because my parents and I were the main story. When the tornado touched down, it ended up blowing through our house. My father was found in a tree the next morning with multiple branches piercing through his body. It was a horrifying sight because of how he hung high in the tree without a way to cover him until hours later when the fire department were able to assist getting him down. My mother and I were missing for 2 days before police told my family they think they should stop looking because we were most likely dead because of the extent of the damage done to our home and my father's state. My aunt wasn't happy with that answer, and her and the rest of the family continued to try and pick through the wreckage searching for us. It wasn't until almost 2 days later my uncle discovered something. My uncle was searching through the deepest section of our house wreckage. He swore he heard cries for help. After getting help from others in my family, they are able to move a large section of a wall and discovered my mother's lifeless body. Their ears sank until they heard my cry for help. They pulled more of the wreckage aside until they found me, breastfeeding on to my mother's lifeless body. If you enjoyed this story, you have to lick that like button.